The Marcia Weekes Show. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. From Barbados to Africa, voices unite. Educate minds, elevate sight. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. From Barbados to Africa, voices unite. Educate minds, elevate sight. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. Talk truth, build roots, stories unfold. Motivate change, mobilize is the mode, that's the MR code. Hey! We growing, we know it.
Good evening, Barbados. Good evening, the world. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure, a real pleasure coming into your homes tonight. You just heard the national anthem of Barbados, and I'm holding in my hand the national flag of Barbados. It is a wonderful Sunday evening, isn't it? It is today is Sunday, April the 12th. And it's 7:05 p.m. and we are happy to be alive. If you're happy to be alive, let me see the victory signal. Give me a V, people. Oh, good night. Pleasant. Good night to everybody. Judy Jilks. Good night. Cedric, how are you doing? Tironi, how are you? Mavis Lashley. Victory, man. Sherry Johnson and Andrea Klitschko and Carol and Monica. Oh my goodness, Lucinda. How are you doing, Lucinda? Mildred Ben and Ronald Archer. Iretha. How is Iretha doing? And Charmaine Taylor, how are you doing? I'm trusting you had a fantastic Sunday so far. Everything is going well for you so far. Queen D46, how are you? Bajan boy, good evening. B-Hoy. Good evening. Yes, I haven't seen you all. I took a little break there. Hey, Lori Bob. Mystic, hello. Matthew B, hey. Lori Bob, we got into a little issue there with the plans, okay? But we're working on something. Judith and Clark, Beverly Prescott, how are you? Teroni, I am a big girl. Hey, Shirley. Hey. Listen, you said I'm a big girl says, she says, good to see you tonight. And you're so excited. I wonder why. You wonder why I miss you all. I miss you all. I miss you all. I can sing her name again. Lori Bob. Yeah, almost got it. I almost got it. It's almost there. How many of you still have your Marcia Weekes mug? Are you still using it? I know some people told me that, Marcia, I'm not even using mine. I have mine put up and I'm not touching it. Well, it is a pleasure to be with you this evening. And indeed, a real pleasure. We have quite a lineup of a show for you tonight. And we want you to be ready to call in at 9 o'clock or 9:05. We'll tell you exactly what time we're going to ask you to call in. This tonight, we have a special little section called On the Radar, okay? On the Radar. And there seemed to be a little thing there. Let's fix that. On the Radar. And on the radar, in this segment, we're not going to discuss the topics. I'm just going to raise them. Okay, we'll just take about 15 minutes and raise some topics to you. And then those topics, we're going to discuss them, and plus the segment topics at 9 o'clock, all right, or 9:05. For the segment topics, we're looking at Carifesta tonight. And this is our first episode called Gone with the Wind, meaning the money is just gone with the wind, okay? So we're going to do that tonight first, and then we're going to take a look at healthcare. We're going to take a look at healthcare, folks. This is important. We have some serious questions for Lisa Cummins. She's not going to get away. We have serious questions for you, Lisa Cummins. This is very serious tonight. And then, of course, our guy Jason is going to be on, and he's going to talk about, he's going to ask, when the crop stalls, what happens to small businesses? What happens to the farmers who have their businesses, and that's how they make their livelihood? And so Jason is going to talk about that tonight, and he's going to look at the development that's happening in St. Peter. What's going on with this development? All these developments in St. Peter, I mean, they're at the forefront of a lot of what's going on. And so here it is that our Jason is going to, he's gonna say a few things, okay? Yes, the farmers need protection, most definitely. So, we're going to go straight into On the Radar. And just before I do that, I just want to say really, really, really quickly that I got two important calls on the weekend by two viewers, and they sounded like elderly gentlemen, and they gave me a tongue lashing, and I don't mind it at all. I think it's so good. You can't have everybody calling you and telling you how great you are. And we have listened, and we're making those adjustments. All right. So keep praying for us. And thank you for the call. I don't mind the hard calls, because it's good. That's how we get better at what we do. So if those two gentlemen, you're listening, you're watching, I spent the weekend, and see, I'm trying. All right. And we had some breaks in the Easter holiday, and we obviously missed some topics. Important things happened, and we missed them, and we promise you we're going to make that up to you. All right. And while we celebrate Carifesta, etc., we're not going to neglect the issues at hand, because that's what we do on the Marcia Weekes Show. We educate, we motivate, we mobilize, and we agitate. Okay, that's what we do right here on the Marcia Weekes Show. So we're not going to take that for granted at all. We don't want to take you for granted, and any concerns that you have at all, we need you to reach out to us and let us know what your concerns are. All right. Yes, Emma all day. And if you see we're not Emma-ing, you got to call me. You got to message me. Don't think you're going to offend me. You're not going to offend me. I keep telling you, we do this thing together. All right. So anything at all, message me and let me explain to you, or you might have an idea to make it better. Okay. Thank you so much. So to those two gentlemen, let me just say a big thank you. Thank you. Well, folks, the first topic on the radar that I want to talk about this evening is the judiciary. The judiciary seems to be under question, and in society we've always felt that there are issues with our judiciary, that a lot of people are concerned about it. These are we were just praying about that in our weekly prayer meetings about the judiciary, because a lot of people believe that they're not getting justice in Barbados. So on the radar tonight that we're watching this case, we turn to a developing story that goes to the very heart of Barbados' justice system. If you are reading the newspaper, a former high court judge, her name is Dr. Sonia Richards, did you see that, has taken extraordinary step of suing the state, along with former Chief Justice Sir Patterson Cheltenham. Okay? And this is not a routine matter. In a detailed court filing, Dr. Richards is alleging that she was unlawfully locked out of her office, improperly removed from her post, and not fairly considered for an extension of her tenure. She is claiming breaches of constitutional rights, including protection of the law and protection for inhumane or degrading treatment. Now, these are serious allegations, because equally important, they are allegations and they are going to be contested. The former Chief Justice has publicly denied all claims. We must say that. So tonight, this is not about taking sides. It is about what this case represents. What do you think it represents? We want to call you to call in after 9 to discuss this. Because when a sitting judge, someone from within the system itself, brings forward claims of this magnitude, clearly it raises deeper questions about the internal functioning of our judiciary. Questions about how judges are treated within the system, how decisions around tenure and retirement are handled, and whether proper procedures are consistently followed. And what this judge is alleging is what a lot of public servants are also alleging. Dr. Richards also alleges years of excessive workload, emotional distress, and reputational damage stemming from the events leading up to her retirement. If proven, these are not minor issues. Do you think they're minor, loyal opposition? I believe they go to the credibility and integrity of the justice system itself. And if not proven, then clarity is just as important. We still need to know, right? Because public confidence in the judiciary depends on one thing. One thing. That one thing is trust. Trust in the process. We're going to be following this case. It's now before the courts, and no hearing date has been set, but the implications are already clear. When questions arise at this high level of the justice system, you and I know they can't be ignored, right? So I want to hear your thoughts about this at 9. Write down your thoughts and make sure you call in, right? So this must be examined carefully, fairly, and transparently. So again, get ready to call in with those comments. All right. The next one on the radar. Anybody has been watching what's happening in the region? Who out there has been watching what's happening in the region? Tonight on the radar, we are stepping beyond Barbados and into a matter that I believe have serious implications for the entire Caribbean community. Okay, and I'm hoping this is a topic definitely that I'm going to be getting someone from Trinidad to be we're going to get Senator Naked or someone comparable to come on the show to speak on, and also the minister from Guyana. But this matter has, as I said, have serious implications on the entire Caribbean community. Because once again, Kamala Prasad Bissessar is taking the lid off. She blowing the gun. She's saying there is a major regional dispute, right, over the reappointment of Carla Barnett as Secretary General of CARICOM. And the issue at hand is not personality, it is process. According to statements coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, serious concerns have been raised, loyal opposition, about how this reappointment was carried out. Because Carla Bennett has been the Secretary General of CARICOM for a while. In fact, she's the person that we wrote to. Yes, loyal opposition, we wrote to Carla Barnett, the Secretary General of CARICOM, and to this day, she has never replied. We had organizations from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from Guyana signed off on this letter. This had to do with the cybercrime bill, and Ms. Barnett did not even say received. Can you believe that? But anyway, according to statements coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, serious concerns have been raised about the reappointment of Ms. Bennett. It is being alleged that the matter was not placed on the official agenda. It was not discussed in plenary, and that key discussions may have occurred in settings where some member states were not fully represented. There are about 3 member states, including Trinidad, were not represented. Now, whether these concerns are ultimately proven or not, that is not the point tonight. The point is this: the process itself is now under question. And the reality is this: in a regional body like CARICOM, that is a serious matter. Because CARICOM is not just a talking shop. It's not where people sit down and they just talk, although it looks like that so sometimes. It is a governing structure that influences economic policy. It does. Regional security for sure, foreign affairs, and the future, and also the future direction of Caribbean integration. And if decisions at that level are perceived to lack transparency, then my opinion is that the confidence in the entire institution begins to erode, as though it wasn't eroding. That confidence, I'm sure for a lot of us, it was being eroded a long time ago, right? Especially that we wrote Miss Bennett about something important that we were dealing with in Barbados, and she did not respond in the same way that she did not respond to Trinidad about the kidnapping incident, the alleged kidnapping incident. And I know that those from Dominica, there are cases there too where she did not respond, not even to say that she received a letter. Trinidad and Tobago has gone further, formally objecting, writing to leadership and requesting clarification. And up to now, no response has been reported. Well, up until the time, well, we heard that the Prime Minister of St. Kitts gave a response, which when we deal with this matter, we're going to go into that a bit more, right? The question is not whether CARICOM matters. The question is, can CARICOM maintain credibility if its own processes are being publicly challenged by one of its member states? Trinidad is saying, listen, we give up to 22% of the budget for CARICOM. And so they're asking questions, and they should. This is bigger than one appointment. This is about governance, it's about accountability, and this is about trust across the Caribbean. The point is, what are your thoughts about this, loyal opposition? Barbados, those of you watching from different Caribbean islands, we want you to call in 236-7000 after 9 p.m. and give your thoughts about this. What exactly is happening behind closed door? The region must ask this. What exactly is happening behind closed doors? It's not the end of this issue. We're going to come back to it. All right. We're just touching on it tonight. We're just touching on it tonight. Right? Now, the third issue that we're going to talk about is the Computer Misuse Act. But today I was home minding my business, and I saw this this post was sent to me, and I suspect it's been sent all over. And it has to do with the Computer Misuse Act and free speech. In fact, someone who one of those who went to Washington with us said, Marcia, did they pass the cybercrime bill? Is this no law? Was it proclaimed as law? Did the president proclaim the cybercrime bill as law? Because when you read what is in this post, it sounds as though it's a cybercrime bill, but it's not. It's a Computer Misuse Act that has been in law for a number of years. The difference with the Computer Misuse Act and the cybercrime bill is that the cybercrime bill is criminal. It gives you're criminally liable through the cybercrime bill. The Computer Misuse Act, then you will have to pay some fees. This is my understanding. If I'm wrong, somebody out there can correct me. So the question is, and many Barbadians are asking, can the Computer Misuse Act, this law, be used against political dissent? Very important. Now, I'm not going to name anyone, and I'm not making any accusations. And I am not going to speak to the guilt or the innocence of any individual. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm asking a question. That's why we ask hard questions on the show. And we need to make sure that this is something that we are concerned about and that we are actually staying on top of. That is why it's on our radar. I'm asking a question tonight. Because of this social media matter circulating involving claims that a post was intended to cause or was reckless in causing annoyance, inconvenience, distress, or anxiety. Haven't we heard those terms before? That raises a bigger issue. Let's imagine a simple scenario. Let's imagine this scenario. One citizen expresses a political opinion. Just imagine. They might say, I do not support the government. I believe the country is heading in the wrong direction. Somebody might just believe that the Barbados Labour Party is red and not ready? What if somebody say you are red and not ready? What if they say the Barbados Labour Party is corrupt? And what if another person picks up on that on social media, decides to be offended by that, and starts a quarrel with you on social media, and the both of you start quarreling because that member of the Barbados Labour Party, not the government, I'm just creating a scenario. That's all I'm doing. Decides that they're going to pick up this, this rage. They're going to pick it up. And then they start, their banter starts. Opinions exchange, emotions rise, words may become sharp. Here's a question. At what point does political expression become a criminal matter? Is this what we have become? Guys, I needed to share up this live. I needed to share the live. I needed to like. I needed to share. Share it in your WhatsApp groups, in your church group, if they allow you to share anything in like this in there. Because we got to deal with them. They get their hush money, and you're not going to hear anything more from the church. But anyway, I'm going to deal with them. They're coming up on Monday. We're going to deal with them religious group that take the hush money. But back to this. At what point does political expression become a criminal matter? Because in any democracy, people must be free to criticize leadership, disagree with policy, and express dissatisfaction, even strongly. So we have to ask, are Barbadians fully aware of how laws like the Computer Misuse Act could be applied in these situations? Especially in a context where the Cybercrime Bill 2024 faced strong opposition, resistance, and was ultimately set aside. So now the concern being raised is this: are existing laws being relied upon in ways that could impact freedom of expression? Again, I'm not concluding, I'm asking. Because the truth is, you and I know this is not just about one post. This is about a principle. Will political dissent, the simple act of disagreeing, ever be treated as something criminal? That is a question we will continue to examine on the show. And I want to hear from you at 9 o'clock. We're going to be coming back to this. I'm going to watch this case very, 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 very seriously. But I have another case, and I hope Dave has a picture that he can put up for me, please. And I do hope that you are liking and you're sharing. This is important right now. Thank you, Dave. Folks, are you sharing, please? I needed to share. On the radar tonight, we are going to talk about this gentleman here, Dave Thorne. Won't talk about him, and I'm just asking questions. Nobody asked me to. We turn to a matter that is deeply troubling many Barbadians. I was at lunch yesterday with an expat, white expat, and they raised this issue to me. It is a matter, as I said, it's deeply troubling many Barbadians, and one that cannot simply fade into silence. That's why it's on our radar. It's the death of Dave Thorne. The death of Dave Thorne continues to raise serious national concern. Let me be clear, this is not about speculation and it's not about rushing to conclusions. It's about questions. We're asking hard questions. We're allowed to do that. And in any democracy, when questions arise around a death, those questions must be answered clearly, transparently, and without ambiguity. What we understand is this. A report was conducted by a pathologist as part of an autopsy. And that brings us to a critical issue. Because there are questions, I believe, that must be answered definitively about that report. Not the pathologist, but the report. Okay? We're not incriminating anyone right now. We're asking questions about the pathologist report, questions about findings, questions about conclusions, and most importantly, questions about public confidence. This is, you don't pretend that this is not a talking topic at your luncheons during Easter. People are sending it to you and you're whispering. When citizens begin to express concern, when there is a perception, whether it is justified or not, the key issues remain unresolved. It is then that the responsibility of the system is not to dismiss those concerns. The responsibility is to address them fully. And some of you have been seeing a video that has been passing around, and that's as much as I will say at the moment, because it's on the radar, and we're going to, as much as we're able to, without causing any hurt to the family, because we don't want to open up wounds in the family, but we have questions. What exactly was contained in the pathologist's report? And on what basis was a final conclusion on the cause of death reached? Again, this is not about accusation. It's not about our emotion because we love Dave Thorne and we miss him. It's overriding evidence. It's not about that. This is about a simple principle, folks. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. Let me repeat that. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. And when there are gaps in clarity, when we have unanswered questions, then those must be addressed openly and transparently so that the truth is beyond dispute. Silence, as we've always said on this show, you know, we have this culture of silence, but silence is not an answer in these matters. And uncertainty, when you have uncertainty around an issue like this, it's not justice. It will not bring justice, because we are going to always go back to, you know, back to that case way back, which I think I need to go back to. Who killed Pele? You remember that? I came about and I heard people talk about that. Caswell talked to me about that. So many people talk to me about that case. I don't even know much about it, but I'm asking that. Yes? And so those are some of the issues that tonight we have on the radar. Okay? And we hope that these are issues that matter to you and that you will call in. I tell you, we're going to stay on this. We're going to stay on this. We're going to stay on this. Dave, we didn't play any songs at the beginning, so he's going to play. That's something new that we're going to do, kind of break it up a little bit. So over to you, Dave. He's going to, for a few minutes, he's going to play a song before, and then we're coming back to deal with Carifesta. Carifesta, guys. Carifesta is what we're going to deal with next. Make sure you're liking and you're sharing. Yes, Esther Blue. Is this another Pele?
The devil's on my track, and he wants to turn me back, but I'm running up the shining. Oh, I'm running, I am running up the shining way. Running up the shining way. The devil's on my track, and he wants to turn me back, but I'm running up the shining way. Why don't you sing down some chariot stop? Let me ride. Swing down, chariot, come back, let me ride. Rock me, Lord, high and easy. I'm gonna move on the other side. Don't you swing down, sing chariot, come back, let me ride. Swing down, chariot, come back, let me ride. Rock me, Lord, high and easy. I'm gonna move on the other side. Still got the ticket and he went on board. They're on there on the mountain shore. He never got to hold the chariot wheel. He just wanted to see how the chariot feel. Why don't you sing down, sing chariot, come let me ride. Sing down, chariot, come let me ride. Rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I'm gonna hold on the other side. Keep it burning to the break of day. I'm so proud. Glory, hallelujah. We love that soul, glory, hallelujah. We never got my life so proud. Glory, hallelujah. We love that soul, glory, hallelujah. I don't know why they can hate me so. Glory, hallelujah. But he had me one time, let me go. Glory, hallelujah.
Well, folks, that was a little bit of the Barbados Gospel Fest 2025. That's what you saw there. But there's Gospel Fest is coming up May 24th to the 31st, 2026. So we wanted to save that date. That is going to, at some point, Dave is going to get that up on the screen. May 24th to 31st, 2026. Save the date. We're going to loyal opposition. We're going to have a bus load of people going to Farley Hill. We're going to have a fun day that day. We're going to go to Farley Hill. Listen out for that. Listen out for that. We're taking a bus to Farley Hill and making a picnic. We have a picnic day that is coming up on May 31st. All right. May 31st is our picnic day. But we're going to jump right into our Carifesta files. Carifesta files. And this is episode 1. And in episode 1, we're kind of just going to go back over the overview. We're going to, there's some things that we're going to discuss that you might not know. But most of the things you know, but we're going to go into it a little bit deeper tonight, right? We start tonight with a simple question, Barbados. What did Barbados get for $35.7 million? Think about it. $35.7 million were spent in Carifesta that they believe that we are going to forget. They want us to forget, and they want us to not hold the people that need to be held accountable, to hold them accountable. Notice what is happening. they are putting out this new, this young guy who is now the Minister of Culture in the Prime Minister's office, right? They're putting out Shane Archer. Did I get that name correct? That's who they're putting out. But no, we're moving Shane Archer and we're going for Carol Roberts. Because Carol Roberts was the CEO of the and is the CEO of the NCF, and that is the governing agency of Carifesta. Was Carol Roberts under the Minister of Culture, who was Mia Motley and is still Mia Motley. Chantel Monroe Knight was just a figurehead. She was a minister, the junior minister, the minister in the Minister of Culture. You follow? So we're dealing tonight with Carol Roberts and Mia Motley. What did Barbados get for $35.7 million? We are not going to forget. You might have all the seats, but we're not going to forget here on the loyal opposition. Carifesta hosted here Carifesta 15 in Barbados in 2025, and it has been described as a cultural success with hundreds of events, they said, thousands of participants, and regional celebration. But tonight, we're not examining the performances. We are examining the price. The official figure provided is approximately $35.7 million, which is roughly about 17 to 18 million US dollars. Now, to understand what that means, we have to look at Carifesta historically. So there have been 15 Carifestas, right? Have been held since it started. Barbados has held how many? How many of you can tell me how many Barbados has held? Barbados has held 3. Okay? 1981, 2015, and 2025. 3. Anybody can tell me, does anybody know the highest Carifesta budgets ever recorded? Anybody can tell me which years, which editions of Carifesta has been the highest budget ever recorded? Anybody? Let me just peep at the comment section. Anybody knows that? The two times. This is why they don't like the show, you know. Because we're going to tell the truth on here. I tell you, this is the Carifesta files. Are you guys sharing this up? The 2 times that Carifesta, in the 15 Carifestas that have ever been done, Barbados has held it 3 times. And the highest budgets were in 1981 and in 2025. And it happened right here in Barbados. The 2 editions, 1981 and 1925, appear to be the highest Carifesta budgets ever recorded. And both occurred under Barbados administrations led by the same political party, the Barbados Labour Party, in the history of Carifesta. 15 Carifesta editions throughout the region, 3 done in Barbados, 2 under, and the 2 done under the Barbados Labour Party. It's the highest in the history of Carifesta in the entire region. 1981 under Tom Adams and 2025 under Mia Mottley. Facts. Some people might say this is a political accusation. It is not. It is a factual observation about scale and spending. Across the Caribbean, Carifesta has typically been hosted at a significantly lower cost. In many cases, budgets range from between 1 million to 3 million US. Did you all hear that? How many Carifestas? 15. Approximately, the budgets range between 1 million to 3 million US dollars. Barbados is at 18 million US dollars. Even in most recent years, reported budgets from other host countries fell well below what Barbados has spent. This raises the question, why is Barbados spending more than the rest of the region combined on hosting Carifesta? Now, I don't know if Dave could put up that other one that I sent him this evening. Let us examine how the 35.7 million was reportedly allocated. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. I wanted to take a look at this, folks. Are you all sharing this live right now? Are you sharing this? I wanted to look at this, my Barbadian people. I know sometimes when we go into numbers, we lose some people. But I don't want to lose you tonight. Right? I don't want to lose you tonight. Dave, can we have the other one? Thank you so much. Now, these figures that I have here on here, guys, and you can take a screenshot of it if you want. 14.1 million was spent on institutional expenses, they say. 10.1 million on service providers, accommodation, airfare, and per diem. 5.8 million, which is 16.2% of the entire budget. Stay with me, Barbados. Stay with me. Performance fees is 2.5 million. Staffing is 1.5. Marketing is 1.9. Hospitality 1.1. Transport 1.5. Barbados program 1.7. Now, what I wanted to know here, folks, those of you who are watching, that I did not come up, I did not invent these figures. These figures were not invented by Marcia Weekes or the loyal opposition. This was posted by the NCF under the leadership of Carol Roberts and the Prime Minister of Barbados in the newspaper with a heading 35.7 million Barbados dollars. But I tell you this, I guarantee you, if you sit down with your calculator tonight, Dave, can we see this? I don't know why it didn't get dark. If you sit down with your calculator tonight and you even add up for me right across institutional service provider, if you add everything across, you're going to get over $40 million. So even their figures are incorrect. Pedro, what I'm showing you tonight, Pedro Gemot, is that even adding up their figures, it's more than 35.7 million. Let that sink in. Let's stick with what I'm showing you tonight. Vihoy, can you understand what I'm saying? They say that they only spent 35.7 million, right? But when you add up the line, the headings, because these are not even line items, the headings in this budget. Institutional service providers, right? It is more than 35.7 million. What they presented to us is actually $40 million. And then they expect us to trust them. Carol Roberts and Prime Minister Mia Mottley think we're stupid. Correct, Angel Humble. It is that they have underreported. The figures that they are presenting to us, that they put in our newspaper, those figures are even wrong. It is not 35.7. When I sat down, right? When I sat down, right? When I sat down and I added up the figures, because whenever somebody brings figures to me, I am not going to take it as it is. I sat down and I added it up, and I added it up 3 times. And I got 40.2 million that they have put in the newspaper. And I want to say something to the newspaper, and I can't remember which one of them actually broadcasted this, reported this. You're going to tell me someone sends figures to you and you report that is 35.7 million, and you reporters, you newspaper did not sit down and add up the figures? Do you see why we can't trust the media? We cannot trust traditional media. Complete waste of time. You make yourself look like idiots, really. You are a media house and you are reporting this. You are journalists? And you didn't double check? You didn't sit down and add it up? But let's go through what we have there, people. We know that it's more than that. The figure being bandied around is 100 million, and we're going to get to that. This is just the first episode, all right? We're doing 7 episodes of this. So those of you who are watching from the government can go back and tell Carol Roberts and Mia Mottley that we are not going to let this go. The largest category is institutional expenditure, which is approximately 4.1 million. So they're telling us 14.1 million. Thank you. And Dave, there's something you wanted me to see, right? Let me look at that after I finish this. This includes items such as props. All right? We're talking about props. Okay? We're talking about costumes, electrical installations, fixtures, furniture, booth construction, and the Carifesta village build out. Now, this is the same Carifesta village that I am telling you. And believe me when I tell you this about it, the tiles are lifting up already off the floor. I know Dave has that somewhere that he can put up. The tiles, thank you. Thank you, Dave. So efficient. The tiles are lifting up off the floor. There's your $14.1 million. Plus, it's not a real structure. Okay? You're dealing with tents. That all is going to happen as happened in 1981 when they put up the tents right there at NCF for Carifesta. The wind blew it away. A hurricane came and the money. And I can tell you, I'm not a prophet, but I could tell you, if a hurricane comes, this is gone. Plus, any producer of an event will tell you this place is not adequate. It's a shell. What do I mean that it's a shell? If you want to put on an event, you will have to bring everything in. Do you understand? It's not like the Frank Collins Hall. It's not like Combermere that was left back in 2015 under Stephen Lashley when he did Carifesta. He had infrastructure that was left. You're telling me that this is the only infrastructure that was left? This is Combermere. Combermere, Mr. Stephen Lashley, under the Democratic Labour Party, they left proper structure. Combermere, I can tell you as a cultural practitioner and a producer, there was a marked difference with Combermere Auditorium after Carifesta. We had the Daphne, I always pronounce it wrong. The Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre. Beautiful theater. Small, but has everything that we need inside of there. Air conditioned. Lovely. Right there. The Queen's Park Steel Shed was refurbished. That was what was left. We're talking facts. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Beautiful. All across the island, they went and they spent money to refurbish various theater spaces throughout. And I know some of this you already know, but we have to say it. We've got to say it. So let's continue because my time is going. Oh my goodness. But I want to go this through with you. Look at this breakdown, guys. In the service providers, 10.1 million was spent on sound, lighting, staging, technical production, event support services. $10.1 million. Accommodation and airfare per diem. Now, I want to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you something here, folks. This accommodation you see here, what normally happens, all right? What normally happens with accommodation, airfare and per diem, which is approximately $5.8 million, the standard is that the countries provide that. Okay, they provide their airfare and their accommodation. They're saying that they spent $5.8 million. So I want to hear from Carol Roberts and the Prime Minister of Barbados. I want to hear from them. What happened to those students, those children that you brought to Carifesta and had them staying on Lester Vaughan, at Lester Vaughan School in substandard accommodation? A school where rats and roaches run on the floor, and you have those children on cots in deplorable conditions that people had to call my phone in Carifesta. Don't tell me I am lying. There were children in deplorable conditions at Lester Vaughan School. Yes? But you brought in Ava DuVernay. What kind of accommodation did you give her? Is she part of the region? How much did you pay her? What was her per diem? While the little Caribbean children were suffering at Lester Vaughan School. Come and tell the public. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. We were speaking to people that they had sleeping over with the children. Those were the people that were giving us the information. So don't tell me that I'm lying. So what did you really spend the $5.8 million on? School facilities where rat and roach run on the floor in camp style conditions. I understand in large festivals you would have flexible accommodations. Everybody is not necessarily going to be at a hotel. But when you're going to say that you spend 5.8 million on accommodation, for who? For whom? So the question is not whether schools were used, because you can use, different types of accommodation. The question is, if some accommodation was low cost, how was the 5.8 million distributed? Did that include what you paid for Marshall to be here? There were people I know that came in from Jamaica, and I'm researching it, but as far as I know, they had to put up themselves. Bahamas paid their full way to be here. The issue is that when the government is spending at this level, the expectation is not just an activity, Madam Prime Minister. Madam Prime Minister, when you are going to spend at this level, Mia Motley, when you are spending at this level, come on. It can't be that you are spending for activity's sake. We know you love a fete. Tell the people you are doing a fete. But when you're going to spend taxpayers' money at this level, the expectation is not just activity. We're talking about legacy. Where is the legacy? What have you left for Barbadians? In previous Carifestas, I don't even have time to go through it. There were tangible outcomes. I showed you some of those tangible outcomes. Infrastructure I'm talking about in Barbados. After the last Carifesta was held here. And by the way, Shane Archer, there is full documentation. So when you stood up in the Senate and said that they did not give full documentation, that's a lie. It's a lie. And you know what? You might be too young to know that there was a documentation. The Prime Minister will tell you, and Carol Roberts, they're hiding behind you, young man. Gonna waste the people money. Throughout the region, trust me on this, or go and look for yourself. There have been tangible outcomes in every Caribbean country after Carifesta. I contacted Guyana. I read what is on the internet about Guyana. I spoke to people in Guyana. Look at Trinidad. In Barbados, we saw investment in venues and cultural spaces, school halls, national facilities. We did that already. So the question tonight is simple. What remains from the taxpayers' 35.7 million spent in 2025? We're going to go with that number because that's the number you're giving us. But we know it's way more than that. We know it's more than that. Prime Minister Mia Motley. Based on the reported breakdown, we're not seeing anything to do with any major, serious, permanent infrastructure. I'm being told that even the land that you put up that temporary structure on is not ours. In fact, what I'm learning is that spot that was used was supposed to use for a park and ride to help with the traffic situation. But you went, Prime Minister Motley, and used it for Carifesta. And then to come to tell us about flyovers. I do understand that Carifesta is a cultural festival. It's not an infrastructure project. We understand that as an artist. I do understand that it is a cultural festival. It's not an infrastructure project. So we're not saying that you should have, all these buildings. But my goodness, at this level, the level of spending, the question of long-term value becomes unavoidable, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, Carol Roberts. So I want to leave you with a series of questions, some investigative questions, because we're doing an investigative series. We want to know from you what exactly makes up the 4.1 million in institutional expenditure. We want to know. We want you to break it down. Oh, but I forget, we don't have an Auditor General. So we might never know. We might never know. We want to know, how were service contracts awarded? Who were the providers? Who were the service providers, and how were the service contracts provided, Mia Mottley? Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who was covered under accommodation and travel? And under what policy? Because I would like to know if that has changed. Was this money spent or was it invested? We're not accusing you, Prime Minister. We're not accusing the NCF and Carol Roberts. We're calling for accountability. When public money is spent, the public has a right to know. So that's where we stop on this episode, and we will carry on the next time that we I am telling you, it is a very serious thing, folks, but we're not letting it go. Dave has something here to add. Thank you, Dave. Carifesta 1981, Barbados cost approximately 12 million, or an estimated Barbados 24 million to Barbados 30 million, making it one of the most expensive and ambitious cultural events in the region at that time. All you've got to do is, see, I'm not telling you any lies. This Barbados Labour Party, they spend money like water. The 1981, under Tom Adams and under the Barbados Labour Party, was widely cited for its high and sometimes controversial expenditure. Yeah? So, as correct, Patrick, same script, different cast, but it's the same thing, guys. But hey, this is what you voted for. Remember, you said you believe them. They said red and ready, and you believe them. You believe them. That's what you voted for. Don't forget. Don't forget. And I want you quickly. I'm just going to take 10 minutes before before he comes. Dave, we can't even play the other song right now because it's just so much that we are dealing with right now, folks. And I want you to get ready to call in about this. Yeah? These people told us they're red and ready. They're red and ready to keep us in the red. They want to bankrupt this country. That's what they want to do. And while they are spending all of that money, okay, and trying to trick us that is 35.7, when even the figures they gave us they don't add up to 35.7. There's a whole $5 million more. 5 million is on 5 cents. We have a health system in crisis in Barbados. Folks, I have something very heart-wrenching to talk to you about, and I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible before Jason comes. Jason Phillips is going to come and he's going to talk about when the crop stalls, and he's going to talk about also St. Peter development before you call in tonight. I am here to warn you tonight, Barbados, about this health system that is in crisis. What I'm going to share with you tonight, guys, it's not rumor. It's not gossip. And it's surely not politics. It has to do with our health. It is a life and death. And this is where I want this what's her name? Lisa Cummins. Lisa Cummins. Come to the front of the class. You are ready and ready, right, Lisa Cummins? You are ready and ready to take on the Ministry of Health? We're talking about the life and death of Barbadians. We're being told that the QEH hospital, the main hospital of this country, someone who is on the trying to get a life-saving operation contacted me. So don't you dare be trying to say I'm telling lies. I'm making up stories. The main hospital of this country, well, the only hospital really. There are multiple operating theaters supposed to be available, 9. But right now, only 1 is working. 1! Let that sink in. I told you last week, somebody with a life-threatening issue that needs an operation have been waiting over a year. I had to pray for her when we got off the phone. Very, very sick and scared. Marcia, don't call my name. Marcia, don't mention the type of sickness I'm going to know it's me and I might not get the operation. That is what is happening in me, a motless country. A country of nearly 300,000 people, cancer patients, trauma cases, mothers, elderly, the children, and one operating theater. People are being prepped for surgery and sent home. People have called me since last year, several of them. Prepped for surgery, and then we can't do it. We don't have an operating theater. They're placed on waiting lists with no timeline. Patient, sick patient. That woman was crying on the phone, left in agony while their condition worsens. Cancer patients waiting. There are people who need brain surgery waiting. I said, brain surgery? They said, yes, ma'am. People with broken bones waiting while time is running out. One patient told me they were diagnosed years ago. They were told that surgery was the only way out, was necessary. The condition has worsened, Barbados. Now it is urgent and still no surgery. Some of the doctors They're hiding and they're talking. The doctors are afraid of this administration. They're afraid of the Mia Mottley administration. The patients are dying. Patients are afraid of the Mia Mottley administration. The doctors and the nurses are afraid. And they tell me, Marcia, don't call my name. The doctors are complaining. They're saying time is the essence. So I asked tonight, I asked Mia Mottley, I asked Lisa Cummins, if time is the essence, what is the system doing? What is the government doing? Because it gets even worse. Believe me, it gets worse. And I'm going to have to stop this very soon because I know that we have Jason who's going to come in very soon. We're hearing from multiple sources, Barbados, that there are issues inside the operating environment itself. So the one room that is working, there are allegations of poor conditions, contamination risk, molds. Is it true, Lisa Cummins? Lisa Cummins, the one that nobody voted for. You never had the courage to go for people to go vote for you. You are not the Minister of Health. You're not getting off the hook. Lisa Cummins, is there mold in the one operating room? Which it has been alleged by some doctors that patients are having issues after surgery because of the mold. Is it true? Lisa Cummins, Mia Mottley, you remember you walked through before election? Walk through and fool the foolish Bajans. Walk through like you, and they're still, you all the walk through, you say big things come through you. Put some big things happening there. No, you spend the people big money on one activity that went poof, gone with the wind. Carifesta. Let me be clear. These claims must be investigated. Because even if a fraction of this is true, we're not just dealing with delay in surgery, we're dealing with danger. They must be investigated. Do you have mold in your operating rooms and at the hospital? And you know what bothers me the most as I close? People are afraid to speak. Patients are afraid. Doctors are afraid. Nurses are afraid. Afraid if they speak out, they will be victimized. You believe somebody dying say, I might not get the surgery? My name is on the list. You can't call my name, Marcia, because I might not get the surgery. That they will be pushed back further. They will not get the care they need in this Mia Mottley administration. So people are suffering in silence. And the doctors who are there to protect them can't even speak out. So we're asking the hard question tonight. How is it that this country could spend tens of millions of dollars on something like entertainment, like Carifesta, but cannot ensure that its operating theaters are functioning? How? How do you justify that to, for example, a person with cancer? What if it's your parent who cannot afford to do the surgery privately? How do you justify that to someone waiting on brain surgery? How do you justify that to a mother, a father, a child in pain tonight? That is not a small issue. That is not a political talking point. That is a national emergency. Prime Minister Mia Mottley. We're calling on the authorities, with Minister of Health, the Minister of Health, the leadership of the QEH, the government of Barbados. We demand immediate transparency. If you agree, put the thumbs up in the comment section. We want immediate action, immediate restoration of surgical services. Because if you have money to spend like that, spend it on the people of Barbados. And if you cannot fix it fast enough, you must find the money to send the patients out for private care then. Pay for their care and save their lives. Isn't what this is all about? The people? Let me say this clearly. A delay in surgery is a decision, you know. And right now, that decision is costing lives. A delay in surgery is a decision. And right now, that decision is costing lives. Barbados, stay awake, you hear? Stay awake. Stay awake. There is a national emergency at the QEH. I want you to get ready to call in. Get ready to call in at after 9, after Jason. This is a very serious situation we are dealing with. Doctors are afraid, patients are afraid. The relatives, I have spoken to relatives overseas that call me and they come, Marcia, I can't do it because they're scared because I can't come on anymore. And you're talking about a life and death situation. This is a madness. Let's welcome Mr. Jason Phillips from the lovely parish of St. Peter. Welcome, Jason. Ooh, he dropped out. He dropped out. Is it me? Are you hearing me clearly? Somebody says, while we wait on Jason, one of my former work colleagues' mom died recently from sepsis. I'm hearing that from last year. I am sick and tired of it. Are you? Bajans, are you? That's a question. Are you sick and tired of it? This is a red and ready to kill us. The Mia Mottley administration is red and ready to kill Barbadians. Because of the hospital. I am not saying that she of herself is I'm talking about the administration, the government, because of the state of the hospital. Let's see if we can hear Jason again. Good night, Jason.
Good night, Marcia. And indeed, good night to the St. Peter and by extension, all of Barbados.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, welcome again to the Marcia Weekes Show. It's great to have you, sir. We're looking forward to a great segment with you tonight.
Yes, please.
Yes, so tonight you're talking about two things tonight. We're talking about when the crop stalls. Because you are the guy who you speak about small businesses and you've been watching what's been happening in the media. Concerning the crops. And so I'm going to turn it right over to you, Jason. Go right ahead, sir.
Right. And this goes specifically to the government of Barbados. We know that the crop usually begins, and when I say the crop, I mean the cutting of the canes and the making of sugar cane and molasses usually begins or commences in January. and that goes right down to May, June, sometimes even now as far as July. And it is now, we had January, February, March, and it's now April. And as I said earlier, that the crop finishes in May, June, it may go as low as July. So if the government of Barbados is lackadaisical in its efforts to make sure that the crop starts on time, and we have passed the halfway mark, what is going to happen to the crop next year? Because we look to plant back our canes in June, July, or sometimes a little lower, but we want to get in time for the rainy season. Now, know that sugar is not king anymore, but we have to consider a number. Today, I sent a WhatsApp to my my WhatsApp group. I said the Barbados Labour Party head government must understand that the delays in the crop season affects more than just farmers. This hurts small and medium-sized business across. Did you hear this now? I fell off.
It seems as though we're I don't know if it's me or if it's your. Repeat there. You froze a little bit.
My internet seems to be pretty good here.
Yes, but you're coming across as freezing.
Okay, I'll go over it.
Just repeat, please.
My word. Okay, I said earlier today I sent a WhatsApp message to my chat group, and I'm going to share it with all of Barbados now. I said the Barbados Labour Party government must understand that delays in the crop season affect more than just farmers. They hurt small and medium-sized businesses across Barbados. For example, a juice vendor cannot sell drinks without sugar. We need sugar cane to make sugar. A rum shop cannot operate properly without molasses. In other words, we must make molasses in Barbados or import it. Truck drivers, mechanics, and food vendors all lose income when the crop does not begin on time. Small businesses rely on steady work to survive. They do not have large savings to fall back on. So the question remains, if the crop has not yet started, what is the plan? Every day of delay means lost income, fewer opportunities, and growing pressure on ordinary businesses and families. In other words, this administration, this Barbados Labour Party-led regime, the production of cane is delayed. It affects other businesses in Barbados. The guy who is going to provide a service as a driver, he no longer has work. The mechanic who will repair the trucks and so on is now out of work or have to look for work elsewhere. Those men and women who will sell food alongside the road, where else, they now have to apply the trade somewhere else or go without a job. So what are we going to do? And it goes beyond just small and medium-sized businesses. It goes to the heart of our foreign exchange. Barbados now have to look to import sugar for its needs. So is the government, through this behavior, trying to kill the sugar industry? Is the government also trying to hurt small businesses, small and medium-sized businesses? There's a spin-off from the crop season. When the factory is up and running, a number of businesses are created, and we must look to hold the government's feet to the fire. It's not just simply saying that, oh, there are issues, and that is why the crop has not. We have to understand that this is not a surprise. We don't wake up one day and say, oh, we're going to plant sugarcane in Barbados. This is something that has happened from time immemorial. And we
Yes.
know every single year there's a crop season. You have to be ready for the crop season. You have to pay workers and so on and so forth. I don't want to go into the union side of it. I don't want to go to the labor side of it. I just want to talk about the crop season. And
Yes.
government is found wanting. If you are prepared, government, as you said earlier with the whole Carifesta issue, if you could spend $31 million on Carifesta, my word, couldn't you put aside a few $1,000s or a few $1 million to get the crop ready and up for January? So the government has no excuse. They knew well in advance that there was going to be a crop season, that certain things had to be done, parts had to be purchased for the factory, maintenance had to be done, workers had to be paid. If they were very interested, if they were really interested, and in small businesses that feed off of the same crop. So the minister must come out and defend government's position. I said the minister must the government position. Am I being heard?
Yes, they're saying that you're sticking. Are
Mrs.
you
Weekes?
sitting close? Are you sitting close to the box? Okay, he's gone.
I'm still here.
Oh yeah, you're still here. Your sound is impeccable. Your sound, if everybody could sound like you, your sound is great. It is the picture. So there's a delay. Are you close to the box? To your internet box?
I usually get problems in here with my internet. Right now I'm in my chamber. I normally have
yeah, the sound is great. The sound is great. But let me just make sure from everybody. Are you still hearing him? Vihoy, can you guys still hear him? All right. Where are you sitting? Are you sitting close? We want to hear you so badly. Are you sitting close to your router?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna try something else.
Okay. So I let you try something. Keep trying.
You should play my picnic.
Okay, yeah, let's play the picnic. Let's play the picnic. Dave. We're gonna try to find that picnic, but in the meantime,
yeah, I'll try to do something else.
I'm not eating. Just have a piece of ginger in my mouth, guys. So my throat, I still get a little trouble sometimes. So I don't want it to seem like I'm being rude and eating while I'm talking to you. The ginger helps my throat. All right, so let me let Jason sort himself out there a little bit. And we want to hear Jason, don't we? But I think the essence of what Jason is saying is that, you know, with what is going on with the sugar industry, it's affecting the small businesses, the farmers. And we want to hear from you at 9 o'clock, okay? Actually, it's going to be about 9:05 because you see we're having some challenges here. So give us till 9:05 and you can always call in. We want to hear from you. Okay, let's see if he's going to be better here. Hi, Jason.
Hi, good evening. I am on a different network, so to speak. Are you hearing me? Amy?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Keep talking.
I'm using my own data, so I switch.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, go ahead, Jason.
Right. No, I was just saying that at the end of the day, the crop season is not a surprise. It is every January we start the crop. By May, June, maybe down to July, the crop is over. The rainy season comes in, we plant our crops. And there's absolutely no excuse why the government is not ready for this season. Do not tell us it's a matter that you don't have equipment or whatever. Plan and prepare. Prior planning and prepare prevents poor performance. And we must accept that there are people other than those farmers who rely on the crop season. We have people who are selling juices, people who are selling food. We have artisans like mechanics and so on who repair.
Yes.
We have drivers who look forward to apply the service and so on. And this is a crying shame that a lot of Barbadians are now going to suffer at the hands of this government because they were not prepared when they should have been.
Mm-hmm. So, I know that one of the things I noticed about your submission, because you said you put it in some WhatsApp chats and I got it. You were really concerned about farmers. Have you been talking to farmers about, and not just farmers, but as you put it, I love how you broke it down, the snow cone vendors and so on. Have you been talking to small business operators? Are they having concerns? What are some of the issues that they're having, or the concerns that they have?
Yes, there's one lady who ply her trade selling food close to the Portville factory, and and now she's concerned that with the crop not in full steam, that it's not even on, that she don't know what's going to happen. Workers are, I really don't want to go into the labor because that is an issue. I don't want to trespass too much on the farming because I leave that for Ahmad Gildenborn. She's a sports person.
Right. But farmers are business people.
Yes. But well, look, what is going to happen here? People who invested money in planting sugarcane are going to lose because the rainy season is going to come. We're going to pass the halfway mark right now. We're into April. We only have May and June, may possibly be as low as July. So if we do not start the crop within this week itself, farmers the money is going to be left in the ground. And I hope
investment. Yeah, I love how you said. I repeat that. Jason, because you are not talking about necessarily about farming, because that's not his portfolio. He is speaking about the business. Because sometimes when we hear about farming, we don't realize that
farmers would have gone to the bank,
yes,
paid people to plow the fields, to plant the cane, and so on, looking for a return on their investment. This government has been callous, right? And now the canes are left in the ground, not cut, and the investment, the money is going to be left in the ground, right? And furthermore, we are not going to have a crop next season because if the canes are not cut, we can't plant for next season because we have to cut them before the rainy season. So this government is really playing Russian roulette with the small and medium-sized businesses in Barbados, the plantation class. Well, not the plantation class, but those people, those small people who invest in money in sugarcane. It is really disheartening to see that government is fooling around with the livelihood of Barbadians.
Yeah.
And I make no excuse for saying that either.
Yeah, because and I love I love the way you broke it down, because I do my little farming, but it's not a business. I do it to get my my potatoes and so on to eat at home. But I have my neighbor she does it as a business, and so I can just imagine the loss that these people are enduring at this time.
Listen,
it is, yeah.
Since 1703, we were making rum in Barbados using local molasses. Right? We have a very high quality molasses in Barbados. We also have, and that is in St. Lucie. We have another rum factory in St. Philip, right? And both of these rum factories export rum. We export molasses. What is going to happen to that export business? What is going to happen to the foreign exchange that was accrued from the exportation of molasses and rum? To me, it does not make sense earning foreign exchange importing molasses, then to sell. So when we sell rum to buy more molasses, to me, we are wasting our foreign exchange. We make molasses right here in Barbados. Now, government,
Yes.
so throw that all away. I ask myself, and Barbadians too, in asking the question, is
Mm-hmm.
it trying to kill sugar? Are they trying
Yeah.
to get rid of sugar in Barbados? And to what end? Is it for golf courses? Is it to build more hotels, condominiums, and the likes? A country that cannot feed itself is going to find itself in a serious, serious trouble. So we're going to get short-term gain for long-term pain. I'm appealing to the government and to the Minister of Agriculture. Come out tomorrow and explain to the Barbadian public what is really going on with the sugar industry, and are we going to have a crop this season, this year, or what is going to happen to the crop next season, next year?
Yes, yeah, and I love what you asked there. You were asking, is it for golf courses? Is it for hotels? What is happening? Or is it that they plan to put the sugar industry in the hands of the Chinese? Is there somebody else there? And we did a show on this about 3 years ago. We did a show, and I remember we were on the show and we were talking about the sugar industry, which we're going to get into that tomorrow night. So, and look at the labor aspect of it, etc. I don't want to get into all of that tonight. Derek Allen is going to be with us on Monday, and he's going to go into that a bit more, looking at the labor issues. Read that. But those are good questions, and which allows me to segue into what is the development that is happening in St. Peter. St. Peter is at the, in the height of it all of this development, not agriculture. Everything is about concrete and so on. Tell me about what's happening there, and how is it impacting St. Peter?
But what is happening in St. Peter is not simply development. It is a rapid state-supported expansion of high-end tourism that risks reshaping the parish in ways that may not benefit the very people who live there. Projects such as Pendry Hotel and Residence and the beach resort at Hillwoods are being presented as progress. On the surface, this promised jobs, investment, and international attention. But beneath that narrative lies a more difficult question. Development for whom and at what cost? For example, let us first look at the real issue of beach access. You with me?
Yes.
Barbados has long prided itself on the principle of all of the beaches in Barbados are public.
Yes, that's true.
Large-scale luxury development dominates the coastline. Access becomes restricted in practice, even if it's not in the law. So in the law, everybody can go to the beach. But then, when you have all these condominiums, all these hotels and luxury villas on the coastline, then you have these little squeeze up areas that people have to walk through to get to the beach. So where we have limited entry points, we get increased security and subtle deterrence that can create an environment where ordinary Barbadians feel welcome in their own backyard, and welcome on the beaches. And we know what happened in the early 1980s. What led to the song, "That Beach Is Mine," Boots.
That beach is mine. Yeah.
And so in St. Peter, this is no longer theoretical, a theory. It is becoming a lived experience. Secondly, there's a growing pressure on local communities. You will know Ms. Weekes, as land value rises, so too does property taxes.
Correct.
So when you live in Six Men's Village, close to the coast, even if you're on the other side of the road, and there's this big 7-story hotel going up on both sides of the road, what does that do to the cost of your property taxes?
That's a very good point there. That's a very good point.
So therefore, long-standing residents, particularly those of modest means, poor people, face the very risk of being priced out of their own communities.
That's a real issue, which I'm wondering, if Barbadians are actually thinking about that.
So look,
yeah.
So what is happening here in St. Peter, you're not getting direct displacement, but through gradual economic pressure, what can only be described as quiet displacement. So when someone makes it too expensive for you to live in your own community, what else can you do but leave? So the parish of St. Peter, especially on the coastline, is being changed, not by force, but by affordability.
Wow. But Jason, are people in St. Peter realizing this quiet displacement that is going to happen?
It gets worse. Listen, I can go back. I hate to do it, but I have to go back to the election. I think it was May, June of last year, 2025. They had a town hall meeting, and residents in St. Men's Village were told that by December of 2025, they would get their conveyances. They would get their conveyances for the land. And a few days before the election, the member of parliament for St. Peter raised a piece of paper saying that there 37 letters were sent out to the residents of St. Peter. Mind you, there are 80 spots that must be rectified. And he sent out 37 letters just before the election to give supposedly comfort to the residents of St. Peter. I say tonight, because back then I didn't want to be the fly in the ointment. No business investor will invest millions of dollars in a hotel if they don't have a conveyance to land, or maybe a 99 lease arrangement, security of tenure, right? But the residents in St. Men's cannot yet get a title deed. They cannot get the land transferred in their name. So who is the government fooling? If they didn't do it before the election, they can come and do it now after the election. I am sure that we're going to have some displacement in St. Men's, especially just in front of the structure that's going up there now.
Yes.
I also want to speak about the environmental costs, which we cannot ignore.
Yes, correct.
Large coastal development alters the drainage, it affects marine ecosystems, and can accelerate beach erosion. And I think we are seeing all three on the coast from, let's say, Hills right up to about 6 Men's.
Wow, really? So you guys who live there, you're actually seeing what the beach erosion, you're seeing what is happening.
Remember last year I showed how the sea was coming right into the road?
Yes, you did.
Right, so I ain't liking on anyone. What is happening to the coral reef? At one time, they had houses on the western side of the main road in St. Men's Village. That can't happen anymore because the beach has been taken over by the sea. Look, without transparent and rigorous environmental oversight, there is a risk that short-term economic gain will come at the expense of long-term environmental loss. When I was a lad, the water quality in St. Peter was so good that we used to boast about water. Well, we got second to none when it comes to water in Barbados. Now, if you know that whole Hills area and where certain, I don't want to call any names, where certain beach resorts are now located.
Yes.
But that area was you know, in Barbados we don't have surface rivers, but we have aquifers that run under the water.
Yes.
Under the land, sorry. And just before that water went into the sea, you will see like a whole swampy looking area. And then so you had that swampy looking muddy looking area, and then you had the beach. All of that was removed for construction of a luxury resort. So you can imagine what happened. That underground water flowing through the aquifer was slowed before it got into the sea. But when you remove that whole heap of mud and so on, and then destroy the beach by removing the beach entirely, the beach was removed. So you can come, the sea can come right inland. So I am thinking that the water levels that was high, because it was prevented from rushing right into the sea, now has no barrier, and it's just flowing underground right into the sea. And I think that's what is affecting the color of the water in the area that we are living in St. Peter.
Wow. So
and
you don't have
broad terms. I'm going to speak in broad terms like that. I want to keep it broad. So we have to look at the environmental costs, and people, and that's why government is finding it so difficult, because now government have now to reroute water from other places to help people on the western coast in some parts of St. Peter.
Wow. You know, a lot of people don't realize that St. Peter, folks, is called, they say that St. Peter sits on what is now known as the Platinum Coast, right? And it is, which is considered as one of the most valuable tourism corridors in the Caribbean. I didn't even realize that, Jason, that it is considered as the Platinum Coast and one of the most valuable tourism corridors in the Caribbean. Were you aware?
I say this to you. There is a clear imbalance in who benefits. Well, we can start from the lower echelons in the parish. Look, while construction brings temporary employment and tourism generates revenue, the most significant financial gains often accrue to foreign investors. Because we have investors from England or the UK, we have investors from the USA, we have investors from Canada, those three main countries. And you know that when those tourists living in those countries book a flight, they're not booking those flights in Barbados to come here. The money is not coming onshore. The money is staying offshore. So the money is being banked in the UK, in Canada, and the USA. What we are getting here is what tourists come here and spend. But the majority of the money is off island. And we are not really getting the revenue that we should get. Look, while these investors are getting rich, the local community bears the strain on its infrastructure. We can see that happening on the coast where people are getting brown water. Public services are affected. And the way of life of ordinary Barbadians are also being affected. You can look again at 6 Men's Village. When that hotel is finished, you think all is going to be well? All is going to remain as is? They have to move some people. The road has to be widened. What is going to happen to the fishing village? I don't know. There's no certainty there. What we get on the coast is a lot of promises. Why up to now we don't have a fish market, a proper fish market in 6 Men's? And why has the Spikestone fish market underutilized? So while we have economic activity increasing, there's a problem with the distribution of the benefits. They're deeply uneven. And these are the issues that government must hone in on. The small and medium-sized businesses, are they really benefiting? And are they going to benefit when you have in these all-inclusive luxury resorts? What is most concerning is the absence of a clear, communicated national limit framework. In other words, how much development is enough? Do we just allow people to have this explosion of development? Or do we say we're going to cut off, we're only going to allow X, Y, Z? Remember, we are talking about beach access. We're looking at strain on the resources, on the infrastructure. We're looking at the high cost of living for locals. We're looking at the high property taxes. How much development are we looking at?
Yes.
What safeguards are in place to protect the residents? Are environmental impact assessments publicly available and meaningfully considered? These are not abstract policy questions. They go to the heart of whether development is being managed responsibly or simply allowed to expand unchecked. Are you with me?
Correct. I mean, and these are, I love the questions that you are asking. And everybody out there from St. Peter, you need to join with Jason in asking these questions, because nobody is asking them. We're just going along, you know, and
who is it benefiting? Is the ordinary
who's it benefiting? Yeah.
Is the ordinary man or woman in St. Peter getting a piece of this pie?
And as Dr. Haynes said, before they put her out of the Senate, she said, you know, they talk about jobs all the time, but the jobs, the truth is, if they tell the truth, the jobs that will affect, you know, majority or will benefit majority of Barbadians are going to be those jobs that are menial jobs. They're cutting the grass. They are, you know, waiting on the table. They're not even the chefs.
Look, St. Peter is fast becoming one of the most aggressively developed tourism zones in Barbados. That's a fact. Without careful planning and firm protection, it risks becoming a place where the coastline is commercially dominated, local communities are economically strained, and the natural environment is compromised. Development in St. Peter is not the problem. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the fly in the ointment. And I would be one of the first people to say that Barbados needs growth. And St. Peter deserves investment. But development without balance, without transparency, without a clear commitment to protecting its people and environment is not progress. It is a gamble. The government must answer a simple but critical question. Are we building a future for Barbadians, or are we building around them?
I'll start again. Are we building
for Barbadians?
A future.
Building around Barbadians. If you look, we are building these high-end luxury hotels and beach houses and so on. But are Barbadians really benefiting? We get a few service jobs in housekeeping, in gardening, in security, and so on. But what else are we getting? Are we having partnerships where locals are partnering with investors from overseas? Are the banks in Barbados lending money to medium-sized and small business people to get a piece of the pie? Remember, there was a piece of legislation not so long ago where government was making it prohibitive for Barbadians to get involved in Airbnb and so on.
Yeah.
Because these luxury resorts and so on must survive in the eyes of this Barbados Labour Party-led government. I'm very, very, very concerned with the coastline, the beaches, the coral. At one time, I could walk from Spikestown. I could walk from Hillwoods in Spikestown right up to Sherman's. That was the St. Lucie. They cut up the beach now. We can't do that. And where they have extended the land into the sea, we realize that other places in Spikestown and elsewhere is being affected. If you look at the beach that was in front of the Fisherman's Pub in Spikestown, that is south of the jetty, that beach is no more. I used to walk on that beach and play cricket and so on. Now the sea washes right into the canal, because when you claim land one area, the sea claims the land somewhere else. So right below Novel Roach and so on in Spikestown, we see that the beach is getting thinner, and right in front of the Fisherman's Pub, there's no longer a beach there. What is the environmental impact? We have short-term gain for long-term loss. This is a very, very, very serious topic, and perhaps we should revisit it again some other time. But the minister is responsible for the blue economy and so on must speak to this as well. So they have to look at the sugar industry. Barbadians want answers on that, and we want to look at development in St. Peter. While we want development in St. Peter, we want it done responsibly, and we also want jobs for locals, not just the low-end jobs, but we want to see people on the high end, and we want to see investment where we have in partnerships. If you want to come and invest in Barbados, partner with a Barbadian. Make sure some of the money remains on island. Yes, this is the jetty in Spikestown. Another thing, if you notice that on the right-hand side, there's a lot of rocks and so on. As a little boy, we used to fish over the Espinal wall there. That beach, they had a small beach there, but it had a seawall, so that really wasn't much of a beach. But to the left of the jetty, there was a beach.
Yeah.
And fishermen will come ashore there and offload their catch. Now there's no more beach. So I don't know what government is doing. We're looking at a few dollars, and we're losing out in the long run.
Yeah, and as you said, the water down there is normally so clear and so pretty. You know, I would go on that jetty and just look, and you can see to the bottom of the water. And just to hear that all of that is changing,
But
it's
so
just
this beach used to extend right to the fish market. If you notice, it stops right by the fisherman pub. You can see some rocks right there.
yeah.
Right. When you get by those rocks, there's no more beach. You could have walked right behind those rocks, and go straight to the fish market. And I believe that's because of development in the north, the northern side, out here, what side. Right. So as a boy, we used to play cricket all there. And then if you go to here was, where there's another jetty, we can see how they destroy what we had, what was called the blue stone. They had a lovely coral stone that was in front of the hotel. With the building of the first hotel, the Here Was Hotel, they blew off about half of that coral stone. That stone was it was a reef, a full reef, perhaps about 200 feet long or more.
Right.
They blew half of that. And that was in the building of the first hotel. And if you look, the beach is still a fairly good beach, but it's not what it used to be.
Right. Wow. Yeah. I can understand. I mean, it's just so sad to see the place. All we're asking for is balance and also communication. Balance, communication, and communication. Think about the people, as Crystal Haynes says, leave something for we. Right? Guys, the phone line is open. It's 236-7000, 246 if you're going to WhatsApp us from overseas. But the number is there. We dealt with so many issues tonight in the section that we call On the Radar. We talked about the hospital crisis in segments. We also talk about Carifesta. We looked into that. We kind of unpeeled some things there. We're going to continue that, but we did episode 1, and we're now talking. We talked about the crop. When the crop stalls and how that affects small businesses, even the snow cone vendor. We're talking about the development or the overdevelopment in St. Peter. So the line is open. It's now your turn to call in. There's so many topics. We need you to call in to make a comment on something, give some insights, something tonight, okay? Any final words you have, Jason? I'm conscious that you're on your phone data.
Well, look, let me be clear in what I'm saying so I will not be misconstrued by anyone. Jason Phillips does not wish to be the fly in the ointment. All I'm asking for is balance. If you're going to have investment and investors, make sure that Barbadians benefit too. We can benefit by insisting that Barbadians must partner with investors from overseas. That we must benefit not only as workers, but we must be capital. And where Barbadians want to invest, allow it. We must look at our coastline, and we do not want overdevelopment to the point that it destroys our ecosystem, whether that be the coral reef, whether that be the beach. Already we have some beaches that were destroyed, cut up in pieces. Already some coral reefs were destroyed. Down here was because I come from Spicestown, so I can tell you. Nobody can question me on that. What we call the blue stone that was blown up back in the 80s.
Jason, let me just have you pause there. There is a call coming in, and you can let me know when you're ready to go, because I know you're on your data. But caller, welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show. Good night.
Your volume is dropping out, Marcia, on the phone.
Okay.
Good night. It is both interesting and depressing to hear Mr. Jason Phillips speak on the development, or so-called development, in St. Peter. Now, I have a question. I don't think you can answer, but I'm just going to ask the question nevertheless.
Yeah, caller, can you speak up a little or turn up the volume on your phone, because our volume is all the way up here.
I am not hearing you clearly at all.
Oh, not hearing me at all. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I'm hearing her clearly.
Yes, go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
She's gone.
Yes.
Tell her call back.
Yes, call back, please. Okay, let me try another way and see. I don't know why that is so.
Yes, I was asking the question. We talk about
caller, welcome.
Yes, good evening, Marcia and Mr. Phillips.
Can you
I calling to find out how may you know that she win the election the last time and the 4 boxes did never come in or they never started to come here, and she claiming that the oh sure.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, yeah, how she could claim that she win election, 4 boxes in Concord, and she don't know that she win the election. That shows that election is the thief election, not a fair election.
Okay, so you're saying that she knew that that she won. Well, sometimes they can project based on the how many votes.
It wasn't a projection there. She don't know what she did.
Well, okay, okay. So you're alleging, these are allegations, okay? And so you're talking about her administration and not necessarily her. But let Mr. Phillips answer.
I heard she on the TV saying before the elections came out, before the election boxes came out, that 4 more to come, and the many even come yet. How she know that?
Okay. Well, thank you, caller. And let Mr. Phillips, he's a lawyer. He will attempt to answer that. Thank you for calling.
I'll point the caller to, I think it was page 28 in today's Nation. I wrote an article on the Electoral and Boundaries Commission and their action or inaction insofar as the voters list is concerned and the whole voting process. So before going too deep into that, have a look at today's paper. I think it's page 28. I spoke at length on that whole issue of the election and where we should go in the future.
Yes, but I saw that article.
I think a lot of errors were made in this election, and in 2026, going forward, we hope that there will not be a recurrence of those challenges.
Yes, correct. Let me try and get the other caller. Let me see if we can call him back. I'm not sure why our system, it's supposed to have been working, but we're going to make it happen. That's it. We're going to make it happen. Let me see if I could get the caller back.
Hello, good night.
Yes, good night, caller. Can you hear her, Jason?
Yes, please.
Okay, go right ahead, caller, and yes, go right ahead.
Okay.
Make your comment, and then
Okay, just make a short comment on what Mr. Phillips says. It's both interesting and depressing at the same time, as he shared about the development that is happening on the West Coast and how it is going to be depriving us Bajans of having access to what we once had access to and took for granted. And we must wake up before it is too late. We must give attention to these things and not just on the radio, but even when we have the marches to come up and let our voices be heard. Now, today I had an interesting conversation with a young man. Mm-hmm. I was by a particular beach and I saw him coming from the beach with 2 buckets.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, he had a lovely catch of fish. And I asked him if it was fish. He told me no. So he said it was sand. And it was sand. I said to him, but it's illegal to take sand from the beach because that's what we're told. And he said, yes, but we have a letter from the government that's saying that we can't take sand from beaches, especially beaches that are not visited by the public often. And I was like, from the government, but they're the ones who will tell you not to take sands from the beach because it will cause sand erosion. So apparently, this guy, he wasn't the one that I guess owned the business because he was being driven by someone of a lighter color. And he said that there are imported birds, like parrots, but high-end birds that are housed at the back of Roberts Place there in St. George, the feed place in St. George by both local persons and the government. That's what he was saying to us. And these birds will pick at the sand. So they have permission to come and take. I'm not sure if he said a certain amount of sand, but he said between 4 to 6 of those salt meat buckets of sand. And they will take the sand and spread it on the ground, and the birds will pick at this. So if this is something that is continuous, and he says that the government, because they're also a part of the program or whatever it is, they also will take sand, but it's done through permission. But my question is, if this is the case, and you constantly take sand from the beach, now I didn't get to ask him how often it is done. I think he said maybe twice, maybe more a year, but he had about 4 to 6 buckets, and he's just one person. Wouldn't that also cause erosion?
Of course, it would hurt the beach.
And I was puzzled because I couldn't get it understand in my head how they're saying one thing and something else saying no, they're giving permission for something else to happen to the opposite to what they say don't do.
And that the thing is, that's what he's alleging is happening. But that is something we're gonna look. Caller, I will speak to you off air, and we will dig a little deeper in that to see if there's any truth to that, because that is very, very serious.
Yes, I think so too, because it was very troubling to me.
Yes, caller. Well, thank you so much for calling. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yes.
I found to be very disturbing.
Yes, go ahead, Jason.
In the same Statesman's area. Now imagine there's a jetty that goes right into the sea. Underneath that jetty now, there's a pile of rocks that goes right into the sea. So at one point, you could have walked straight across the beach. But this door, you're not saying that the beach is private, but it is very difficult to get on that little bay. I'm just going to leave it broad. There's a small, sexy little bay, but you can hardly get to it because there's a pile of rock stones projecting into the sea. So you have to swim in the water on low tide if you want to get to that beach. If the water is rough, you can't get to that beach. So it actually cuts you off, and that beach now becomes almost like a private beach. Can you hear me? I'm not hearing you.
Yes, we have a caller there. Thanks for that, Jason. We have a caller.
Yes.
Caller, good night. Welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show.
Hi, good night, Marcia.
Yes.
Good night, Mr. Phillips.
Hi, good night, buddy.
You can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Nice and loud.
Okay. I am very, very, very happy to hear Mr. Phillips actually expressing the problems that we will be facing in St. Peter, because the representative that we have, he's not interested in those things. That same beach Mr. Phillips is speaking about, we walk from 6 Mains straight to Spikestown.
Used to.
One time, it used to be. Now, you can't get from 6 Mains to Port St. Charles. Because now there are 2 entrances there now for boats to come into and that kind of stuff. And it's mind-boggling. I mean, Spikestown Beach there now where all these restaurants are now. All these things were done, but they weren't done with us in mind. I keep telling people that all these things were done only for these people to come and profit off of our property in St. Peter and gain, carry everything from St. Peter and leave the locals down there with nothing. But this is what you see happening. I think Mr. Phillips was alluding to it just now. The same beach there behind Port St. Charles, that used to be a small jetty. Because we had at least 3 to 4 jetties going across there years ago. They were eroded, but these are the things we used to go get on and jump into the sea. And we used to fall it down there let that take away. But those jetties were never built in a way that we couldn't get over them or get around them. And all of a sudden, there's one piece of that jetty left, right by the beginning of Port St. Charles property. This is to get now behind Port St. Charles Beach, which is Port St. Charles Beach now, which used to be Haywards. Now, I find that they build it up now even higher than what it used to be. Now it is a bit difficult for you to walk the beach and get up on it. Now you need to go up by their fence and come through by their plants. And sooner or later, I believe those plants will be replanted and you would not be able to come through by those plants.
That's absolutely correct.
I see it happening because then the beach I usually go to now. Because for me, it's a lot quieter and that kind of stuff. Most people stay up on the other side to Spikestown. I usually go over the other side. And I'm telling you, they are making it difficult now for aged people to get over to that side of the beach. And it's very, very, very disheartening. I'm glad that Mr. Phillips brought it up because I mentioned it. I had mentioned it in this same group here already. A long time ago, I mentioned this.
Yeah.
That they're eventually trying to make those beaches private. The little one that he spoke about too, right there where that had it in the club there last, where the hotel is building now. That also has a stairs, of wooden stairs to get onto that little beach.
There are two beaches
and that wooden stairs actually was built,
almost private.
I think, by the same group
very, very
that is doing these hotels and stuff now. And I'm telling you, the stairs was beginning to rot.
Yes.
I'm not sure they fixed them.
They repaired them, but it is still very difficult to get to that beach.
I will tell you, I think eventually those stairs will disappear.
Yes. Wow. Powerful.
I expect them to disappear. But anyhow, Mr. Phillips,
yes,
as always, nice hearing you, sir.
Thanks. Don't go yet.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Weekes.
Yes.
Now, if you consider all of businesses,
Jason, 1 second, Jason. Yes.
You hear me?
Okay. All right. So we kind of, yeah. So you can speak now, Jason. Sorry, he's gonna hear you.
There's so much to say about this. I want him also to consider the businesses. If we start from the supermarket, where the plantation hardware used to be. Remember Plantation Limited?
Somebody said yes.
I don't want the name of the supermarket there now, but where it used to be, right? And we go north, all the way to Haywards again. There are about 9 hotels and about 9 restaurants on that side. Who are they now owned by? And
wow.
They are high-end restaurants. So you don't see the normal average Barbadian going in there. And so we must ask ourselves, what is happening to the medium-sized and small businesses in Spikestown? So everyone is now pushed from the below road up on the above side. And another thing, that entire route, that coastline, that road was put as a one-way to accommodate all of those businesses. And then they put obstacles in the road that parking is on the road for those restaurants. You can't drive on the road freely anymore.
Really?
When you come through Spikestown on Orange Street, on the below road, the coast road, a whole set of cones in the road, and the police does nothing about it. It's against the law to block the public road. But because these people own these restaurants from where the old plantation building was, coming right down to where the whole Haywards hotel was, that whole stretch, they own the whole road, they block up the road, they park on the whole side, left-hand side of the road, and you yourself can't park there. I can't hear you, Marcia. I'm not hearing you.
There is a call, Jason. A very interesting point there, Jason. Very interesting. Wow.
It's upset me if you
Like
ask me.
down to St. Peter with my camera.
I will give you.
Go ahead, caller. Welcome and go right ahead. Make your point, ask your question, and then we will move right along. Go right ahead. Welcome.
Good evening, Marcia. Good evening, Conrad Jason.
Hi, good evening. How you doing?
You know, over the Easter, we had that week which called the Holy Week coming on to the crucifixion, Easter, and so on. You know, I did do a little traveling, and I saw some changes.
Mm-hmm.
I had to call them. I actually called them walkbacks. Could you remember the lower grave and the Brighton Junction? They stay by me in St. George.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure other Barbadians who've been living here long.
Jason would know. Jason would know.
Yeah.
You remember when Conward all leader went up there with the cameras at that junction? We got those massive accidents.
Okay, yeah.
What made me pass there the Thursday before Good Friday, going to St. Philip, because they do the top road. That top road is bringing from Brighton, Boys Mill. I think it's Boys Mill, and you go up to, you got Meverton, Boys Mill, Rolling Hills, Halton, and bring you back there to St. Philip Parish Church, and you make the right turn to going to 6 roads.
Right.
But instead to go the lower road, because the junction I tell you there.
Windsor Junction?
Yeah, some people call it Lower Graham or Brighton Junction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is where Rob Thorne, he went up there with the camera. You remember this?
I am what you're talking about.
Land that was a lot of controversy.
Yes.
And if you remember the ministers to tell us, I just smile at the storm. It said in 3 months' time, we're going to see action at that junction. But I actually forget about it. And I had a vision to travel that road. I see nothing there. It's happening. And I remember here at Carmichael, I see nothing happening there. So I called those 2 roundabouts, walk back. Now, could you remember during the time of the past Minister of Health, Jerome Walcott? You remember, they like to show images and pictures and movies of this massive new hospital at the old and more site. How much millions of dollars it can cost us. And then he also tell us that I think he said he got to borrow the money or the body money. But I haven't heard anything about if they get the money, if they borrow the money, and if they can still build the new hospital on the old Jammuts Lane. No, the old college. No.
The whole General Hospital.
No, on that side, on the old and more side, that's next to the sample. Oh, that's got a big word. That thing that built that lab there, when John Boyce was the minister, stand for something. Oh, give me links to that boy.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is a lab that is just above the hospital.
Oh!
As you go, you can see it.
Yes.
Right, it near. Ooh. Anyhow, we talk about that side. And then they said they're going to build this new hospital there. That was the past when Jerome Walker was the Minister of Health, how much it cost, the massive drawings of it, and as they say, I think he said to borrow the money or to go to borrow the money. But you know what? That money. I don't know if they get it. If they get it, we don't know. That's a question I want to know. If they get the money for this new hospital, or if they didn't get it. And if they get it, let us know.
Yes.
Right. So I ain't hearing about that, so I know that's another walk back. I don't know. Then now, all of a sudden now, I hear about highways, byways, no ways, flyovers, on the, on a lot of things happening. So a lot of these things they get like pushed back. Flyover, everything now gone now. The flyovers. So these are things that I still watching. All these things done with. Get them out, decide to the people and move on and move on. This because I want to know. My two roundabouts, the new hospital, the one in the north, but I understand the one in the north now is a hotel. That money was borrowed for that, people live in it. Some people live in it, and we know who they are.
Yes.
These questions I would like to know. They try to get
some answers to it.
Some answers for.
Yes.
Now, recently, I see a lot of things that people like. You know, like I remember when I was a boy, my grandma, something with the in. They used to call the coolie man, and the coolie man was to come and something. Well, people say I had no money to tell the. I think it was the prayer that tell the child to tell the coolie man. Stay in there. But somebody said, but I said she fought. Something with the foot. It put me back now. Oh Lord, that's with me. It put me back now to.
Yeah, it
put me back. I wanted to say.
Take your time.
I wanted to say. Oh, now I find there's two people that I watching, and I tell people, I going back to the Bible. I backslide from the church, but not from God. You just tell me things, just give me visions. There's two people in this government I watching, and whoever programmed them to say these things, the child that in the womb that should be born next week or next month or whatever the case might be. No, and you cannot fool them. I hear a new minister for culture saying some things from Carifesta. Big man, don't let nobody fool you. You're going to fail. And if you're going to be a minister, you're going to fail. I said that new minister talking about housing. The last, and let's tell me about how much houses you can build, and how much houses you can build at low not Bernie's, Hanson. I ain't seen them start yet. I want this new minister of housing start this crap. Don't let nobody program to tell you this kind of thing. The only body I see build houses in the Caribbean, like when I hear them talking, and they would never live to see them. A man called Kevin Andrews. After Hurricane Beryl, that knocked down Petit Martinique and Caracou, this man built more houses. Less, I think a year, that's a year we had Beryl. I think a year yet. More houses than this administration bill from the time they come in. It was 2018? That bill's very there. Stop fooling people.
Yes. Well, thank you, caller. What I'm getting from you is a lot of things started and they give great ideas.
And then
they haven't done them.
I just tell you things. And some start, some about to start, some they didn't start, they didn't start at all. I have referred to the fuel director, and God will trust live on. And Michael Sonia, man, crazy, and time to come.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Hope to hear from you another night. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Oh wow, yeah, very very interesting one there. He's basically saying a lot of things been done. Said that they're going to do these things, and they're not done. Any thoughts on that, Jason? I know, and let me know when you have to run.
Well, you can't fault him for telling the truth. This Liberal Party led government has started a projects and failed to complete them. That's a fact.
Yes.
Blatant fact. But we were talking about St. Peter, and we were looking at the businesses on the coast. And if you look on the screen, or you see a number of buildings and so on.
Yes, yeah.
All of these businesses seem to be owned by people who are not like the ordinary Barbadian. Let me put it like that. And they are pushing out the locals too, because people who have houses in that area, you have to look at their property taxes at the end of the year. You have to see who are getting the jobs, the managerial jobs, the chef jobs, and so on, or who are getting the jobs for just the cleaners, and the gardeners, the low income, low end jobs. And why was the road rerouted just to suit them? And why are people allowed to park on the road along the side of the road? Spicestown is changing, but is that change benefiting the residents of St. Peter and Spicestown at large?
That's the question. That's the question.
If we go,
yeah, go ahead.
If we go over to the Hillwoods area, they had an area there that was like swamp land, which used to help the coast, because you don't want the water just rushing right into the sea. They had like a lagoon or a swamp. What they have done is push away all of the vegetation, so you can now see from the beach right onto the highway, the bypass highway. But in fact, what that has done is to cause the lagoon or swamp to dry up. It now resembles a puddle. So the fish that was in that lagoon or swamp, I would be surprised if you can find fish in there now. The habitat for the crabs and so on, gone. And out there also was a nesting site for turtles. Again, that is affected. Yes, go ahead. I'm not hearing you.
Okay, just a minute there, Mr. Phillips. Hold your thought there. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show. What's on your mind tonight?
Good night. Blessings to you, Marcia Weekes, and
blessings to you,
Jacob Phillips, my comrade.
Hi, good evening.
My main concern right now, that hospital, the hospital issue, is very poor management. One, like say so, I don't believe that you should go and see your hospital and you cannot perform his job. Because the CEO hospital should be pressuring the minister, which is Lisa Cummings, to act on doing production of giving good health care. So basically, what I call mostly, I read is that victimization is happening not only with staff, patients also, as I heard on the show. And that's very horrible on both ends are all wrong. Because when you check it now, right, you want a meeting the CEO. What HR will be calling you I think you can't get a meeting with the CEO. Because they know the CEO should be, the CEO secretary should be doing the calling, but not HR officers of the hospital. So that's why I say it's very poor management, because when you recheck it, it's like your information is not confidential. It's like everything, but you expose your whole entire business, and that's not supposed to.
Okay.
When that make me a concern, they should more be mature, professional, and tackling healthcare to the highest level. Not trying to victimize and bosom of the Barbados party.
Well, that's what's happening. A lot of people, and I've heard it, and they can't say it's a lie because the people are being scared. We have two cancer patients, people with different issues, and that up until last year we had cancer patients calling us, and we have all kinds of people calling us, and there's so many issues, and they're afraid. They're really afraid. Well, thank you for calling. Is there anything else on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind? I really Barbados the party, really and truly. Everyone Barbados the party step aside. I let government come in that's very professional, very mature to carry Barbados forward, because Barbados is going backward.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate you calling.
Okay, blessings to everyone on the show, and blessings to all Barbados.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, over to you, Jason.
I have 5 more minutes, but
yes.
In 2026, right? 21st century, Barbados must not have one general hospital. I've been advocating for a hospital, I say a mini hospital in the north to service all of St. Peter, all of St. Lucie, the northwestern tip of St. Andrew, and the northern tip of St. James. Look, they're going to have 2 big new hotels in the north. Now, if there's a public emergency, what you can do? Wait for 2 or 3 ambulances to collect people and take them back to the hospital one by one. That's madness. You must upgrade the Morris Bayer Polyclinic to a mini hospital. You must have an ambulance bay at the Morris Bayer Polyclinic working 24 hours. The Morris Bayer Polyclinic must be that hospital, and it must open 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's nothing to prevent us from having a hospital in the north. As I said, we had a hospital at Harrison Point. Where there's a will, there's a way. The government borrowed $125 million to open that hospital. We're still paying that loan, and now there's no hospital. No accountability. Right? Wastage. Taxpayers' money treated as though it's somebody's piggy bank. We must have a hospital in Spikestown to cater for the north. We must have an accident and emergency department at that hospital. We must have an accident bay. Ambulance bay with 2 or 3, even 4 ambulances. And I even go further. Beyond just having a hospital, we need a fire engine in Spikestown to cater for the people in the north. If you're going to develop St. Peter, if you're going to develop the north, you have to put in those amenities, those government amenities. Why don't we have a magistrate court in Spikestown? These are not political things. These are just things that are necessary within a densely populated area. That's the right thing to do. And with that, I will say good night to the good people of St. Peter and Barbados by extension. Marcia, thank you very much. Hope you don't mind me calling you Marcia, or should I call you Miss Weekes?
Not at all. Marcia is that's my name.
Thank you for having me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes. It's always a pleasure. I really do admire your love for St. Peter. and I found your segment was very enlightening. Thank you so very much.
I want to see
I
my
didn't hear.
go.
You want to see your pictures, right? So, Dave, okay.
Picnic, my picnic.
Your picnic. Okay. You see, you sent it to me while I was on the show. So just hang on. Don't go. It's gonna come up right now. Dave, do you have it, Dave?
And the lime in 6 Minutes Village, both of those. And then I'm gone.
You have a picnic. Okay, so the picnic is gonna come up very soon. Yes. And the lime in anybody out there went to the picnic? I couldn't because it was on the same day as our show, which was very well attended to, Jason. Yeah, I want to thank everybody who came out because we saw a lot of people from the show. Did you see anybody from the show at your picnic?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Play.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. Little bit of sun, shine, and good vibes.
On Friday night, effortless.
And we ain't gonna worry, ain't in a hurry. Everything is going our way. We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. Everybody's moving to the song on the radio. A little Stevie Wonder never hurt nobody's soul. Something about lawn chairs out in the warm air feels like a sacred place. Cause when we all get together, every day is a holiday. We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. A little bit of sunshine and good. We're gonna have some good times with good friends, making good memories. A little bit of sunshine and good vibe.
The good people of St. Peter love Jason.
I love it, Jason. I got so caught up watching it that I didn't get to send Dave the next one. But Dave, this is the other one that's coming to you, and this is him liming in 6 Men's St. Peter. So Dave, it's right there in your WhatsApp. So Jason, oh my goodness, you were right. I could walk to you, you know. I could walk to you, but I wasn't home, so I couldn't attend.
So many people quarrel with me because they didn't know about the picnic, but they want to come next year.
Yes.
The bank holiday. Bigger and better.
Actually, we're the loyal opposition. We're going to have a picnic and a bus ride on the May 31st. We're going to Farley Hill.
St. Peter.
St. Peter. That's true. So Jason, you have to come with us.
How much is it?
We're just working on it. So I'm going to tell you very soon. And that's going to come up May 31st. That's our bus ride. We're going to St. Peter. I didn't remember St. Peter, Farley Hill. That's where we're going to go on the 31st of May for Gospel Fest. We're going to have lots of music, and we're going to bring our food, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to be like Jason, and we're going to play dominoes, and we're going to have fun and loyal opposition. Yeah. Okay. But Dave, go ahead, and if Dave can play the other one of you liming in 6 Men's St. Peter, and this was after the election.
Yes, now there's no B or D. We're just people from St. Peter.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So all of you, both B and D, BLP, DLP, you were all liming in St. Peter.
I'm back in the community. I'm helping Thorne, Jack, and Harry, Beulah, Susan, and Betty. Anyone. So I am working with in St. Peter. I am helping them find work. I'm helping them. I'm going to church with them. I'm just frolicking, working, and being among the good people of St. Peter. And wherever possible, I'm going to help them. Forget about party now. I'm here to serve.
Yes, that is wonderful. That is wonderful to see everybody. You know, the election is over, and that's I love that. I want us to remember that we are all Barbadians, and
Yes.
while we might hold different views, that Barbadians are BLP, DLP, they're independents, and that's it. But we are Barbadians. I love that, Jason. Dave, go ahead and play that.
Yes, trying to do all that. I want everybody to see. I'm confessing again. So you might be on the blast again, man. I want people to see that after the election, being 6 months is still a family.
And where you from?
Too far.
That's it. That is lovely. And I
That was
noticed you didn't have on your yellow shirt. You had on your white shirt.
but that was botched up.
What's the name of the shop?
I said that it was botched. It's sticking. Is it sticking on your end?
Oh, it's sticking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nevertheless, don't let me take away your show.
No. We're finishing. We're finishing right now, Jason.
It would have been
We're
nice
finishing.
to show properly. We were just
Yes,
having a beverage. B's, D's, EFG, everyone. You know, and you know, no love lost.
No love lost. That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wonderful. But Jason, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we see you again next week, Sunday. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yes. Isn't that awesome, guys? It's really, really awesome to see everybody coming together. And as much as we put the government on blast on this show, we are still one Barbados. We're not against a BLP person and against independent or against a DLP. We're still Barbadians. We are not happy with what we see happening in government. And we speak about it. When we say that is a good thing. And I do. You know, the sad thing about it, as Commissioner was saying tonight, that a lot of times they will speak about things, but they don't finish them. They start them, they don't finish. They stop in, somewhere in between. And I think that it is so important that we don't label people. Don't label people. Let us try, myself included, excuse me, to work with everybody. Yeah. Somebody says, I would like to hear interviews with people who voted for the current administration but seeking help from the other party. Well, we don't even have to show who they are. If you can help a Bajan, help the person. We're not here to say, well, you didn't vote and then you want this and you want that. No, I don't think that. For me, that's not the approach. I guess I don't have a party and I'm not running in a party. So my approach obviously is going to be different, but I don't think that is something that's becoming, that we should be doing that with each other, right? Somebody says, thank you, Jason, for your presentation and your creative thinking and how you will make things right. Good night. Very good. Just reading some of your comments before we close. We have 6 minutes to go, folks. And okay, folks, you can still call in. Please, you can give us a call, 236-7000. Miss Electronic Crazy says, it's time Bajans get in front of the problem instead of telling the story after the fact. Everybody got a camera and a phone. Stop the madness. Miss Electronic Crazy, I agree. Yes, we can discuss the update from the government, read the sugar industry. Yes, we can do that, especially as it relates to small businesses. So that's what Jason does. We might even do it a little bit before as it relates to agriculture, if we can get someone to speak on that. Patrick is saying we had almshouses. What became of those? Do we still have that, or is it called a different name? Repeat. The district hospital, is that the geriatric? The district hospital. Okay. Okay, so there's a district hospital, Patrick, that is now the house. VOI says the way they cuss me out online, I don't think so. What you don't think so about VOI? Yeah, the food issue is another one that we're following, and we're going to keep it up. Miss Maxine McLean and myself, we did a session on it on Wednesday, and hopefully she can continue with it with me on Wednesday. She was not on tonight. You know, normally she comes on Sundays because she has she had a family event. But and she wasn't sure what time she would come in. But I have a caller on the line. Good night, caller.
Hi, good night.
Good night. I know that voice. I know.
Okay, just an observation I've made, you know, all the things that Jason has highlighted about the whole Barbados, see, the new developers, see, all in British Town and all that, you know, to get rid of the screw ups, all that. We know what these people are doing.
Yes.
So what is absolutely amazing is that we got people like the Minister of Tourism, Colin Jordan, the rest of them, all of them are responsible by sitting back and taking money for these people to ruin Barbados. They're on developing Barbados. We are going backwards. I mean, Jason talked about having a hospital in North. We had a hospital in the North with an accident emergency. Okay? But you know, people don't recognize this thing began 50 years ago. It began 50 years ago. You know, I was a little boy then, but it began 50 years ago.
Tell me how, why do you say it began 50 years ago? Explain.
It began 50 years ago, and that led to the mighty Gabby come up with that song back in the 80s.
I got
it began in 1978, to be precise. Okay? And the happenings, we saw the happenings, and Gary saw what was going on, and he had to come out saying, oh, that bitch is mine, that bitch is mine. That still applies to today. It applies around then. He saw it, he sang about it, but nobody took him seriously. But it's still happening today. They are taking what is ours and they're building their playground.
Yeah.
Okay? So our detriment. Okay? And we have a bunch of people sitting in Parliament. All they can skin their teeth about, we can treat you to love them again. Taking the money and destroying Barbados. So that is my observation. Okay?
Yes, and we must let people know that this is Dr. Rolrick Hines. Yes, and who I am hoping will be able to join us weekly to give us our medical. Remember, we used to have our doctor on, and so I'm hoping I'm putting you on the
guilty as charged.
Dr. Hines, I'm putting you on the spot. We need our Dr. Hines back to answer questions or health questions. You know, and like tonight we were talking about the hospital and all. So we need you to come back. You will talk again, okay?
Okay, good night.
Thank you. Great contribution. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes. It's wonderful. We're looking to have a segment once a week on health. And I think it's so important, and to give health tips, etc. And that is, Dr. Hines did that before he became a candidate. After he became a candidate, then obviously we could not have him as that anymore. But he is, now that the election is over, I hope that he can come back. Yes, this is wonderful. Now, this is where we end. I just want to thank every one of you for joining. Of course, I already thanked Jason PHILLIPS for being on here with us tonight and for his great contribution concerning the sugar industry and how it affects small businesses down to the snow cone vendor who needs that syrup, and what's happening in the sugar industry. We're going to keep following that. That's a topic that we're going to keep following. We talked a lot about the hospital crisis. We put some things out there, and we need some answers. We need some answers. It is not right what's happening with our hospital, the hospital crisis. Okay. And we also looked at Carifesta in a big way. And I think that we need to continue to make demands. We're not letting it up. We're not going to sleep. We have 7 episodes that we're going to do on Carifesta. We're not going to let it go at all. At all. Yeah, because somebody not telling us the truth. They're not telling us the truth on some things. It's clear. Just from the newspaper article alone, the numbers didn't even add up. That they gave us those numbers for to be 35.7 million, and it didn't add up to that. It added up to more. So that tells you that their accounting is off, right? They're not even correct in that. So tomorrow night, though, Derek Allen is going to be with us, Dr. Derek Allen. And he's going to be talking to us about the labor movement, the unions, and so on. And we're going to bring that up to date into what we're seeing happening in Barbados today in this political climate. So Dr. Derek Allen will be with us. Glenn Murray, you should be with us tomorrow as well. And also we will have with us Mr. St. Joseph, they've helped me, Victor Lewis. Mr. Victor Lewis will be with us tomorrow dealing with some of these developmental issues. Again, the overdevelopment, I should say, because we're not against development, all right? So the overdevelopment, the imbalance, we're going to continue with that tomorrow. So look forward to a great show. We will have our On the Radar segment again, and we're going to take some things from the On the Radar segment and make them into a full segment. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, team. Thank you, every single buddy who's been praying, and even the criticism. Thank you for your criticism. I appreciate them. They only going to make us better. I appreciate you. God bless. Have a good night.
Powerful. You are powerful. Mighty you are. Mighty you are. Nobody's greater. Nobody's greater. You're my armor. And there's no greater love than your love. Nobody's greater than you. No greater love than your love. No greater love than you. No greater love than your love. Nobody's bigger than you. You are mighty. You are mighty. Worthy you are. You are wonderful. Nobody bigger than you. Nobody bigger than you. I searched and I still can't find no way to love than the love that I found in you. You. I've searched and I still can't find no way to love than the love that I found in you. I've searched and I still can't find no way to love than the love